Nemo, you haven't been to the water cooler in the office? We're over here at the water cooler in the office. No, the water cooler actually, I think it was Alan Carroll and Novo and D-Rock. Was it D-Rock?
Yeah, I came up with the name first, and then Novo and Alan ran with it, and it turned and snowballed into this thing, which is pretty most of what we end up doing, I think I come up with a really weird idea, and then Alan and Crypto turn it into an actual idea. And then before Leslie can say, no, we already do it. No, I'm kidding. But we came up with this idea because, we were all remote, and instead of, having a coworker-to-coworker relationship at the water cooler that you're used to in the office, we tried to do it digitally. So we would take some time out of our day and kind of just like check in with each other and see what Web3 gossip was, and kind of just check in with each other. And that's how we ended up here.
I love it. It's very old school. I like the nostalgic crossover of drinking water together. Like Vayner 3 office has a cold brew keg too, though. I mean, I think that might be the new alpha is gathering the keg so that we can put up with sleepless nights doing mints and analyzing charts, right?
It all depends on how caffeinated you can decide to be, because that cold brew in the office is highly, highly caffeinated.
Super potent. Yeah. The whole Vayner team runs on that stuff.
There's Blue Bottle at the bottom of the office, right? Like, you don't have to drink the in-office stuff.
But there's coffee literally everywhere around that office. You can probably walk and find like 5 different coffee shops within the same block. And so it's a very dangerous place to be if you're trying to avoid caffeine, which sometimes I have been, and I'm not successful.
There's a Think Coffee across the street too, and that's one of my favorites. So to your point, it's just everywhere. But Namo, the one in the office specifically, is like 5 times the amount of caffeine you really need in a cold brew.
Yeah,
don't drink
really,
that.
It changes me. It's not great.
It's illegal.
Some people mean when they say something's in the water there. It's actually something in the cold brew.
Adam, what did you say your favorite coffee place was?
I think coffee is right up there for me. My actual favorite coffee shop in all of New York is actually Oslo's Coffee Shop, which is the one I used to go to. It's a really small spot on the Upper East Side. I believe they're based in Williamsburg. I just used to love that place. But Think Coffee is really cool. They donate back to like women farmers all over the world and do some really interesting initiatives. And right next door to the office too, so I like going there.
I love it. The true alpha here. I mean, this is not the water cooler. It's not the NFT, the Web3 alpha. It's just where's to get the best cup of coffee in the New York area. I love it. Adam, why don't you introduce yourself? Because this is the first time been on Spaces, and being on a new day here and a new time for on this Tuesday. How about you? How about a little? What do you do for a living? You're on Twitter Spaces right now. You get paid to be on Twitter Spaces. What do you do for a living, Adam?
I don't. Maybe I should start thinking about that. But no, appreciate that. Yeah, I'm Adam, Director of Client Partnerships over at the Vayner 3 team. So my job right now is really to look for mass adoption of Web3 and wallet onboarding, everything in between, but using our brand clients, our brand partners to do that. So I feel like we have some of the coolest clients in the space and people who are just super, super interested in building right now. So it's my job to kind of make sure that we're hitting all their individual and unique brand goals, but also doing it in a really innovative way, either on chain or doing something that collaborates with different partners and projects to kind of get them into the space. So really interesting. I've been kind of struggling with that, what do I do for a living for months now, but I feel like that's the best way to summarize it.
I was just gonna say, we could ask everyone this question and get a different answer. Beside what's your title, Namo, what about you? How do you answer the question, what do you do for a living?
Anything that needs doing. I'm the Senior Vice President of Operations, which is like the catch-all term for somebody who has worked at a consultancy in the past and is elevating us to be best in class. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Any kind of NFT drop. I know people here are probably familiar with the outbound communication that happens in Discords, but there's a lot of development that happens with smart contract devs and getting the website up and making sure that a company has the ability to collect data so that they can improve the project over time and make sure that we have project managers on all of our account teams so that the project is running smoothly and that we're getting stuff out quickly. We're bringing in new information and promoting thought leadership, launching new brands. I mean, we rebranded to Vayner3 not too long ago because we're always paying attention to what's happening in the market and responding to those conditions and expanding our service offerings to meet the expectations of our clients. So there's a lot that happens that's operational, that's done with partnership with the account teams, that is deployed with our strategists and our account folks who are on the ground talking to communities. There are community managers who are in Discord. So there's a lot that happens, and so whatever needs doing is my focus.
I love that. And I love that you brought up the rebrand because that was a big move for Vayner3. And I know Jess on stage here was a big part of a lot of the creative that went into that, especially, and of that rebrand in particular.
Naval and I couldn't sleep maybe for a week.
Was it the cold brew? Did the cold brew help?
Look, I will not drink the office cold brew. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. But I don't know. Well, that explains why Nemo was up for. I
was feeling fine. I don't know why you were complaining. I was just.
Oh man, yeah.
I was completely wired and buzzed, and so I was like, let's.
You were hanging out with Adam in the coffee shops there. I think that Jessica. Got to get the cold brew going.
I've clearly not taken the right coffee to have gotten the rebrand out, but we got it done. But yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked about the logo that you're seeing on the Vayner3 bubble there, because I think it looks like a sports brand or a cool fashion brand logo that you actually want to wear on some swag, and that in particular was really important to me, to make something that people in our team would be happy to be wearing.
I do wear it on swag. That is one of my favorite swags I've ever had. Very, very cool shirts if you ever see some Vayner folks walking around wearing those limited editions. Make sure you give them a wide berth.
Yeah, love it. I was going to say that too. I was going to say I do wear it. I wear this on my shirt regularly thanks to the V3 merch. But I have a question. We all work in Web3, right? We work at Vayner3. And if you had to, though, like we love it, right? We love what we do. I hope we do, or else the stage would be a little awkward. Maybe we don't love the cold brew, but we like being at the office and the work that we do. I want to know, though, if you had to change professions, whether that means a role you play or the space that you work in, the industry you work in, if you had to change professions, what would you change it to? I'm not going to call on anyone. Just whoever has the idea first, pop in. What would you change professions to?
Leslie, I want to open up a bagel shop. I think that's what I would do, is open up a really good, that also has really good coffee. I
was going to ask about the coffee.
Well, I have a whole thing that, so I live in Rhode Island now, but when I lived in New York, especially, you can go to a really good bagel shop and have really crappy coffee, then go to a really good coffee shop and get horrible bagels. And that felt like a gap that needs to be filled. So anyone who's listening who wants to invest in a bagel coffee shop, I'm here. Because that would be a really great use of space in New York City, especially.
I still need someone to prove to me that bagels are worth the effort.
Here we go, Jess.
I knew that was coming, Jess, and that's what I was going to lead you right to that. But you got there first. I love that.
I mean, I'm waiting for I come to New York all the time, and everyone's like, "Oh, the bagels here are fire," and then I'm like, "Okay, prove it." And I have yet to have anyone prove to me that bagels can really blow your socks off. Like, why bagels over literally any other food?
To be fair, Jess, you didn't go to the spot I gave you when we were in the city together, so that's why.
Okay, no, I will work my way down this list, and I will try to find this bagel that makes bagels as a thing actually a worthy food.
Jess is full of hot takes on this space. It's like cold brews, bagels. I mean, don't bring your coffee or your bagels to Jess if it's not correct. That's all I can say.
No, bring me a good bagel. Prove me wrong, please. I want to know why people even care about bagels.
I mean, this is the thing. Like in New York City in particular, there's just like a certain amount of masochism. We succumb to a lot of pain, and we do it voluntarily. And so, like hard bread, if it's like elevated above being like inedible, it's something that makes us feel really good. It's like we're really enthusiastic about the park, but it's because we haven't been to nature. So there's like little stand-ins for other stuff. So we don't know what kind of fluffy bread you're eating out on the Pacific coast, but yeah, it's good for us, and it lasts through the winter, and winters are harsh here. So that's what we're doing. It's fair market food.
I'm gonna guess she's a sourdough fan, maybe West Coast sourdough. She's acting a little sour to these breads. I dare.
Toast. We'll handle the bagels, okay? You can be the champion of the avocado toast.
Naval, I feel like you've explained so much about New Yorker taste in food just now, and thank you for that insight.
It's also really quick to make. We literally boil it, so it's another thing about us. We like it fast. We like it non-perishable, and resilient. And yeah, if it's good, like, hey, we're gonna tell everybody in the world that it's the best.
Bagels are also very, very versatile. You can do a lot. You can have them with cream cheese. You can have it with like deli meat. You can make a pizza bagels out of it. I've had it like a slice of American. Like there's a lot you can do with bagels. So I don't know. Growing up, that was like a big part of my culture. So I'm always going to be a bagel fan.
There's big New York energy explaining the utility of bread to my
so much utility.
I was gonna say, even if it doesn't taste that good, New Yorkers will still tell everybody it's the best. I feel like it's just in us. Like if we have it, if it's in New York, it must be the best, right? So like, what do you think?
I raised my hand to answer the question. I'm not a fan of bagels personally. I'm with Jess.
Thank you.
And I'm from New York, and I've had all the bagels, the onions, and the everything, and it's not good.
Is there a bagel NFT project that I don't know of? That
it's like something you're going to be
I
starting.
know.
Soon.
Now all of a sudden, I'm inspired.
Bagel Dow by Adam Polanski.
The bagel Dow is brilliant.
But I did want to, I wanted to answer the question about, like, if we weren't here, what else would we be doing? I think that I would probably be in the music industry, because that's how I was kind of introduced to NFTs. I see always in the audience, Skylar and Jaden, and they're kind of the people who have introduced me to NFTs through music, so I'd definitely be, like, or something. On that side.
Music NFTs are super interesting.
Yeah, they really are.
I listen. Well, CryptoNovo starts off with, he plays a warps every show to kick it off and close it out. So that's one way we're seeing it. But I was at the Billboard Music Awards from World of Women, literally one of those sweepstakes contests. Shout out to my producer D-Rob on the Vayner 3. And while I was there, someone was talking to me about, man, I wish I would have kept up with them. I wonder where they are now. But they're launching a project with generative music, like actual generative music. And whenever they were playing, it was like, there's no way this is generative. Like it sounded like it was carefully crafted, and everything, like the vocals, the beats, every aspect of it was generative. I mean, that's so fascinating to me. I think that's definitely something that we're going to see more of in the space. I don't know how soon, but yeah. So keep that passion live, because I feel like music NFTs are coming.
Well, we're seeing it with MTV and the category for best metaverse performance. So I mean, that's just right down the road. So to answer the question, maybe I won't be a metaverse rapper. I'll leave that to Spotty Wi-Fi, but I'd be a comic book guy. Maybe not the one that you imagine from The Simpsons, but I would like just to like chill, and every Tuesday the comic books come in and put them on the shelves on a Wednesday and hang out with kids and like-minded individuals that are just there to enjoy and see smiles on faces and kind of be up with what's going on in a different realm or a different culture. And I don't know. I think a comic book stand might be in my future, even if it is in New York next to Adam's Bagel Shop in the same strip mall or something. But
I think we're on to something here, Novo.
Jessica, you're invited to come in, and there won't be bagels, I think, or pretzels rather. I think that for whatever reason, if you don't like bagels, the extra twist in a pretzel, you can't seem to like. Any thoughts or response on your pretzels?
I actually like pretzels.
Woo!
I mean, you bring up an interesting point. I must have just had pretzels prepared in a way that are better than bagels that I've had in my life. I realize they're very close. There must be something about the extra salt. I don't know. Have you ever had Auntie Anne's? That's like my guilty pleasure. All that artificial butter they drench that in.
Yes. Okay. The cinnamon sugar pretzel from Auntie Anne's is just life. I don't think pretzels, like pretzel sticks, like just legendary.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Novo. Pretzels are great. Bagels, not so much.
See, we're from Chicago, so everything gets dipped in anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it is. So it's going to be some type of high carbohydrate dipped in some type of cheese, if it's cream cheese for a bagel, or just nacho cheese or stadium cheese for your pretzel. So it gets masked in somehow, one way or another.
But to your point, Nova. Oh, D-Rob, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I love asking these like hot topic questions, but I don't even know if I have to this time because we're already here. And every time I'm about to introduce something new, then like we just keep going off on this tangent. So I love it. But really quick, I'll jump in with my if I wasn't here comment, and I'll bring us to it another question. So really quick, my dream has always been to make the next be a showrunner for the next Boy Meets World type show. So think of for that TV show for the 10 to 15-year-olds where they're not ready for Stranger Things yet, but they're done watching Nick Jr. That's the kind of show that I want to make. And I don't even know what that looks like, and I don't know how Web3 is going to get me there, but I feel pretty confident in where I'm at, and there's definitely a future overlap somewhere there. Also, I used to be a barista, and I can make bagels, so Adam, hit me up. Maybe we can just make that work instead.
The Bagel DAO is coming to life, and then make them premiere your show at the shop.
Oh, there it is. We'll just combine all the things.
With the comic attached, exactly.
Yes, exactly. But for a hot topic question, this is one that I've found recently, and I've been struggling with philosophically. So I want to know what the group's thoughts are. Does a straw have one hole or two?
It's one. It's one continuous hole. It's not two. It's not.
But does a hole have a bottom? Is it just a tunnel?
It's one hole, and it's a tunnel.
So does that mean tunnels also have one hole in general? Tubes?
It is one hole.
Can
the
I go-
whole thing is one hole.
Can I go with option C? It's neither. Is that possible? It's not a hole.
So then, how would you describe it? If you were going to
As a
make
straw.
I'd consider it. I'd call it a cylinder.
an open cylinder.
It's a tube.
It's just a cylinder. That's what a cylinder is. It's not an open cylinder.
Doesn't a cylinder have a top and bottom though, technically?
You
I
can
mean, you can arrange it.
Yeah.
What was that, Soleil?
I was gonna say you could have solid cylinders and then cylinders that have one hole. So straw.
Smartest minds in the world. We can't figure out freshman year geometry. A straw. Damn you, D-Rob, and your brilliant questions.
Yeah, I really just like causing brain warps here. What were you gonna say?
It is holes. I'm convinced on that. So for sure.
Whoa, hot takes. All right, so how are you defining a hole then?
2 holes is one on each side.
It's one continuous
Where,
hole.
where does one hole end and the other begin, Alan?
Dude, those questions are above my pay grade, but I just have the skills of observation. I can look my eyes can stare at a straw and see 2 holes.
How many holes are in a bagel?
Just one.
Okay, extend that bagel so it's taller like a straw.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's an idea. Huh.
A bagel straw sounds interesting too. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Not
we can't use
actually
plastic
recommending
straws
that.
anymore.
A bagel compatibility that a bagel straw would have. I feel like that would make my drinks not that great.
No, that sounds gross. Don't
Yeah.
do it, please.
Okay, on a Web3 note, though, have you guys heard of the NFT artist Food Mask You?
Of course.
Yeah, super cool. And he basically takes all this food, puts it on his face, and makes NFTs about it. So I feel like we really are going to have to ask him these questions one day, because he's got an interesting perspective.
I love that. Let's get him on the water cooler hang.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Let's get him in office and we'll decorate him with bagels and pretzels and bagel tubes or straws or whatever. And we'll just mint it. Why not? Donate it to the local food pantry. And then we'll have a physicist come in and tell us what the heck a cylinder is and 2 holes and how we can go from point A to point B the quickest without going to point C, D, or whatever else is in the ACTs that I forgot.
Well, now that we've solved all of the world's problems in this one Twitter Spaces, we have 5 minutes left. I'd love to ask, who hasn't answered it? I'd love to ask Alan, because Alan is fire on those memes, but I'm curious if you had to change professions, and I do consider you, by the way, a professional meme maker, what would you change it to?
You know, I'd probably be a failure somewhere. You know, who knows what would happen, but it'd probably be pretty bad. You know, NFTs turned my life around. Web3 saved me, so probably be under a bridge somewhere, to be honest with you.
I'm dead.
I just want to note that CryptoNovo threw up a 100% when you said that.
You got it. He'd be a degen. He'd still be a degen, but now degens can get paid for their brilliance. It's amazing. It's amazing what's happening, in this Web3 world. And he's just, he's making the most of it. That's why he is the meme king. And when he said he was going to work underneath be underneath the bridges, he'd be actually working there, a government employment job. So, infrastructure program. He's going to help the nation.
We can figure it out. We can figure it out for sure. But thank God for Web3. That's for sure.
He'd be a literal bridge troll.
Speaking
instead of just a Twitter troll.
Speaking of helping the nation, below us, Steve Delsey, thank you for serving and protecting our nation. You're in the military. Thank you. Continue working hard for us and defending our freedoms, and be positive. Love you down there, my friend. Stay positive. Be positive.
Yeah, thank you everyone in the audience who has been here hanging out with us at the water cooler today. So glad you got to see the very important conversations that Vayner3 has on NFT Tuesdays on Twitter Spaces. And we like to do this because this is a space that doesn't stop. We were talking about the rebrand that Namel and Jess in particular worked so hard on. The work that we do here, not just at Vayner, but I mean in Web3 in general. So I'm talking about all of us. It really doesn't stop. So it's been amazing to have our work and friends here to just talk about some of the impressions in life, like does a straw have 1 hole or 2? Because these are valid. And it's been amazing learning about the passions of each of you. So we have a bagel passion. We have a music passion. We have, I call Alan's second profession a passion, but it seems a real passion for Web3, so I respect that. And yeah, just thank you everyone for being here today. We do these Twitter Spaces typically every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, but as we know, it is a holiday on Monday, and Vayner is so kindly giving us the day off on Friday, so we decided to do it on Twitter Spaces Tuesday and NFT Tuesday and Terrific Tuesday, and we'll decide on a name later. But yeah, just want to say thank you to our amazing speakers for joining, and I'll bring it to either D-Rob, CryptoNovo, or anyone else who has any final words before we close out this amazing Spaces.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead, D-Rob. You want to go?
No, I was just going to pass it off to you, Novo. You know what to do.
All right. Well, there are things that money can't buy. For everything else, there's Seb. Seb, we love you. Thank you very much. For all the other friends who are listening out there, we do have an extended weekend. Do something. Be an active participant. Even if it is in the Web3 space, you're going to hop into a metaverse and run around and have fun, or you're actually going to be IRL and live real life and go out and do something. And stay positive and love life. Get those peace signs ready. Stay positive and love life. Peace.